Are you turning 65 this year? If so, you are certainly far from alone. More than 11,200 Americans per day are expected to celebrate their 65th birthday now until December.
A record-breaking year for retirement, and they are dubbing it the Silver Tsunami. I have not heard of this one. Elizabeth O'Brien, senior personal finance reporter for Barron, joins us on how you can prepare for this. First of all, good morning to you, Elizabeth. We appreciate you being here.
Good morning, Dawn. Thanks for having me.
So let's just get right into this. If you are turning 65 this year, if you are already 65, what do you need to know going into this?
Yeah, there are a lot of considerations if you're approaching 65. If you are going to retire at that age and you have a workplace retirement account, a 401k, think about what you're going to do with that. A lot of companies let you leave your money with the plan, but maybe it's better to roll it into an individual retirement account. And beyond that, think about how you're going to translate. You've got a lump sum saved up, and how are you going to translate into monthly income to replace a paycheck that you're going to be giving up? Think about claiming Social Security is another big question. What age is right for you? And signing up for Medicare is also a biggie at age 65. If you're leaving your job and you no longer have health insurance through your job.
And what can be so confusing about Medicare is you have to decide between original Medicare run by the government or Medicare Advantage run by private companies that contract with the government. How do you make all these decisions about what to do?
It's a big decision, and a lot of people, as they approach their 65th birthday, they get a ton of stuff in the mail, a lot of advertisements for Medicare Advantage, and so you have to weigh, look at the benefits, spend some time on it is I guess the main takeaway. You can look at Medicare.gov. They have a plan finder tool that helps you compare your options by zip code. And the good news is that if you make a choice that you don't like, you do have a chance to change it every year, every fall at the annual open enrollment period. So there is a little wiggle room. The only thing to keep in mind there is that the window for buying a Medigap supplement plan, the best time to buy a Medigap supplement plan, if you want one to go along with your original Medicare, is in that initial time around the time you turn 65. Because as you get older, if you develop some health conditions, it can be harder to qualify for a Medigap plan. That's the main point to keep in mind.
So obviously when you retire too, there's that gap because, you're used to getting the paycheck. Obviously you have your 401k, but there's that gap in the paycheck. Do you advise people going to see a financial advisor to just plan ahead and think about how they're going to make sure they're filling in the gaps, or how should they go about that?
I think that's a good idea to seek out a financial advisor, because there are, it's when you're saving for retirement, a lot of it's on autopilot. You just, get a monthly contribution from your paycheck. You kind of set it and forget it. But there's a lot of decisions to be made when you're translating that lump sum into a monthly income. An advisor can help you map out and figure out how much you can afford to withdraw from your savings each month and not run out of money. But make sure you go with a fiduciary. That's an advisor who has to put your interests first. And believe it or not, that's not a standard across the whole industry. So ask prospective advisors, are you a fiduciary?
We're almost out of time, but just quickly, for someone who hasn't saved and they're not ready for it, but they're ready to call it a day with a job, any ideas to create an income stream if they're financially in trouble?
That's a good question. If you're ready to call it quits in your big job, there's always you might consider downshifting to a part-time job that can let you bring in some income. And also, the income is one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is your expenses. If you don't have enough saved, and a lot of people don't, then you can also look to dial back your expenses to the extent possible. You might want to bring in a roommate. You might want to, do things like that to sort of give up a car. There are sort of moves you can make on the other side of the equation to try to lower your monthly spending.
All right. Elizabeth, thanks so much for Barron's this morning to help us out with this. What an important conversation.
Thanks for having me.